Welcome to If This Bar Could Talk, a podcast about bartenders and the stories they have to tell, as well as the storied history of cocktails, spirits, and bars. I'm Blair Beavers, and here's your host, Leanne Sims.
I would like to say a big happy anniversary to our guests tonight, who are Laurie Granger and Mike Schaaf from Two Truths. Thanks for coming tonight, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for having
2
us.
years in the bar biz.
Yep.
How's it been?
Happy anniversary.
Oh, man. We talk about this often, like the bar is our baby, that Mike is my work wife, and that together we have made this child. And so I think like 2 years in, you're like, okay, the baby is alive. The baby is kicking.
It's starting to walk
walking on its own. We can leave it with a sitter maybe from time to time. But yeah, it definitely feels like we're not where maybe we were scrambling to make sure that everything was above water, like in every way possible. I feel like we're now like, all right, we're getting our stride.
And you're the general manager, right,
I am,
Laurie?
yeah.
And then Mike, you are one of the founders, or?
I was there at the start. Actually, Laurie was there at the start as well.
Yeah.
But me and a friend of mine had started the place and started coming up with cocktails. And
So how did it start? How did Two Truths come together?
a friend of mine got offered a chance to become an operator of a bar, and he leaped at the opportunity. And he came to me and says, I don't know a whole lot about cocktails, but I want to start a cocktail bar. Do you want to be my bar manager? And I said, yes. I wasn't doing anything else at the time, so I immediately jumped at the opportunity to keep going with the craft that I had started to learn at Brothers Drake.
Okay, so you were at Brothers Drake before. Was that your first?
First time putting together cocktails, yeah.
Okay. And then where does the name Two Truths come from?
We get the name Two Truths out of Egyptian mythology. In Egyptian mythology, when you died, you were confronted by Anubis, and Anubis would take your heart and he'd weigh it on the scales of truth. He'd weigh it on the scales against the feather of truth. And if it was heavier than a feather, you got granted access to the afterlife. If it was heavier, it was, I say that wrong?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, essentially.
If it was lighter, you got
right,
into
yeah.
heaven. If it was heavier, it was eaten by a demonic beast. And this all happened in the Hall of Double Mott, or the Hall of Two Truths. And so the idea was, when you come in, how heavy are your burdens? We don't have the TV on. If you want to be entertained, you had to talk to somebody there with you or talk to the bartender.
I love that, by the way.
Yeah. It was to encourage.
It's a lot of balancing of spirits.
Yeah.
Both
to encourage
figuratively and
conversation
literally. Yeah.
People being part of the community and talking about what's going on as opposed to being in their phones or sitting in front of the babysitter, i.e. TV. And we wanted to have a place that was going to build the community and be part of it and help people make friendships and acquaintances and networking and all sorts.
Well, you've obviously done a great job because you are consistently voted one of the best bars in the city by every best publication that we have. So you guys have a lot of events as well,
We do,
right?
Yeah, totally. So that's one of the things I handle. So Mike's the bar manager, I'm the GM. Really, we just split a role that could have been one role, but we were both really active and invested in the bar. Kind of came into this role about a year ago when the original founder moved on. And one of the things that I picked up from him was events planning. And I'm not as well connected as the former manager was. And so specifically like in the hip hop and DJ and house scene that we were getting a lot of. So we do this really cool thing where we have like classic cocktails, but we also have just what turns into fucking fantastic music. You told me I'm allowed to say.
No, absolutely. Curse away.
So this is like, so I always talk about like that this is such a wonderful marriage of things that we love. And if we were going to go drink a cocktail someplace, we would want to go someplace where we were hearing music that we loved and seeing people kind of like living out like different genre of culture like right in front of us. So whether it was our own or not. And so I found ways of getting more connected, hit people up on Instagram and Facebook and all of those places and just said like, I have a venue if you would like to play here. We're a cocktail bar, so we're not a club. So if you can find something that like is a great chill vibe, we want you. And so it's been a lot of great places. A lot of Columbus parties now that have grown out of our bar We kind of get to like be like proud parents of watching.
Yeah,
exactly. Of watching specific dance parties and different things that have happened in Columbus where they've just outgrown our space, which is kind of what we love, is that they've like made that jump from kind of a chill vibe to like growing their own brand and their own culture and their own scene. And so we have to send them on their way because we are only the size that we are. But so we have a mutual friend, Paul Bonasaro, who's a DJ, and he DJ'd our very first party when we were doing pop-ups. So before the bar opened, we threw 3 or 4 pop-ups to kind of help we are not like the bar that is also owned by this person and this person and this person. It's kind of a small contingent of people. We own no other bars. And to get the money to kind of operate, we were throwing these parties to help like put booze on the back shelf. And Paul really helped us out with that, but he is the star. He founded Hips, which is a great dance party in Columbus now. So It's really fun to watch. I think they're at the Bluestone now. They've grown
They've gone from us to Brothers Drake and now to the Bluestone.
Yeah.
So they've just grown bigger and bigger.
It's really cool.
Awesome.
It's just a really fun thing to be able to like help launch other people in their dreams and their vision. So.
And that's sort of what the place was about from the start, is that we wanted a platform for all of our close friends that were DJs, that were musicians, to have a place that they could start practicing their music in a live setting.
Yeah.
And so many of them have continued on to go to bigger and bigger venues as necessary, which is great for them.
Yeah.
Like, we're super happy. We give them all the love we can and sending people their way still. But
for sure,
even now, Laurie's found like other young upstarts to come into the bar and give them a chance. And so we stuck with that over the past 2 years.
And it's not just music, yeah. So now we have a monthly burlesque night. It's actually this Tuesday. We have a monthly comedy night. That's this Wednesday.
When is the burlesque? I love burlesque.
So we do burlesque monthly, and I think we might be the only place in the Short North doing it, but it is the 3rd Tuesday of the month. The Columbus Velvet Hearts, which is a really great troupe of, there's women of color, there are people who are trans and people who are like everywhere on a spectrum. So definitely a different vibe. But they are that burlesque culture. So it's really cool to bring them in. And it definitely gives that like speakeasy vibe that the bar like kind of just exudes on its own. Like I always get this like 1920s Berlin feel on Tuesday nights and I bartend that night, and I love bartending that night because it's like people coming off the street and they're like, what
I love that
is happening here?
That's
so
great.
It's fun for that. But we have a monthly comedy night. That's the 3rd Wednesday of the night. It's with Brooke Cardis, who's like really been making a name for herself in the comedy scene, and Angie Healy. And then we have throwback hip hop the first Saturdays of the month with DJ O'Sharp, who's a legend in Columbus. We have Salve, which is like more of a lounge and funk night with J. Rawls. Who's like a professor of sorts in music. I don't know his background super well, but I know that like everyone who, again, this is one of those things I didn't know the scene well, and they're like, hit up J. Rawls. And he does a fantastic night with us as well. So
that's amazing.
If you check our Facebook and our Instagram, we have events happening definitely every weekend, but we have jazz. This is your end of the world. We have jazz Thursdays and Fridays.
Jazz Thursdays and Fridays. I'm a huge jazz fan. So when the place first started, I was like, I need a jazz night. There's just not enough of them in the city. And I know so many people that are such big fans.
Absolutely.
So there's not enough music in the city. I'm so glad you guys are doing this because when we visit bigger cities, like we're going to New Orleans this week for the Bourbon Festival. Yes. And the thing we love about New Orleans is, you can walk around and hear the different music going on and then just decide what you want to listen to and go inside.
Yep.
And we've always said that's what we're missing in Columbus, but you guys sounds like you're bringing that. What's the thing that goes on where people dress up at 1920s?
So there's so many events. It's hard to give you the list. So Swank just actually celebrated its first year with us. Arlette Roper, who's a fantastic vinyl DJ in Columbus. There's a lot of DJs in Columbus. There's not a lot of DJs DJing with vinyl still. And
we managed to get all of them, I think.
we might have them all. If we don't, and you're listening to this, hit me up via Facebook or Instagram. So Arlette and I knew each other from a former employment position that we both kind of were in the same role with a company that I worked for many years ago. And I knew that she had this party, and I knew that it had kind of in a lot of ways got like bumped from bar to bar just due to like changes in management of bars and different things. And she wasn't in a place that was fitting her really well at the time. And I hit her up and said, if it's ever not working for you, come hit me up and let me know. We'd love to have you in our bar. And she got really excited about being able to take it back to a classic cocktail bar like where she was originally. And so she spins 20s to 40s vinyl. So it's a lot of big band and jazz and swing music. And people come dressed up and it's fun.
That's so fun.
It's like the night that we are all like dressed up behind the bar. You'll see Mike in a tie for like,
Really?
where he likes to have like 3 buttons unbuttoned at all times, like currently. He will have a tie
You're lucky
on.
I didn't show up in sweatpants and a t-shirt.
That's right.
You could have.
But it's a night that we get dressed up and people come in off the street in whatever, and it's not like, oh my gosh, I came into a prom in my sweatpants. But it is cool to see those who like, we see maybe
birthday parties come
maybe
in
like
too,
15
though.
or 20 of the same people every time that just love it and come in different like outfits. There are people who are like posting on Instagram and Facebook. They're like that they're making these outfits every month, or they're finding them in vintage stores.
That's
and wearing
awesome.
them. So it's really cool. It's like fun to kind of see this little, like, again, another little subculture of people that just come and love the cocktails and the music.
I'm doing that because I have several outfits from the
you gotta, like,
1920s.
come out.
It's
flapper
my
dresses
thing.
or dinner
Yeah.
dresses or something.
That is my
people come in
jam.
For sure.
And one couple showed up in vintage army fatigues from World War One.
Oh, wow.
And a vintage nurse outfit from World War One.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
But we'll have that, and then we'll have, college kids celebrating their 21st, 22nd birthday, and they want to do like a roaring 20s Gatsby style.
Yep.
And they come into our Let's Swank night.
Nice.
And they have a great time, and they start looking at the cocktail menu, and all of a sudden they're drinking cocktails all night.
Right.
Cool. Blair actually has a vintage Cleveland firefighters overcoat that he
Yeah.
found at one of the local vintage stores
do.
for a
Nice.
Halloween party that we did. So
Blair,
we
it
can.
sounds like you have to come out as well.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. If she's going, I'm going too.
Is there a cover charge for
There's
these?
not. So
Oh, wow.
I would say 95% of the events happening in the bar do not have a cover charge, and we do that intentionally. Every now and then we do have one, and usually it's because there's some talent that's coming from out of state or something like that
Right.
they need to compensate for. But we like to do that because we want it to be something that if you came out for the event, great. If you didn't come out for the event, we still want you to come in and drink and have a great time with us. And so it's kind of one of the philosophies is to keep it approachable. We like to keep our cocktails approachable. We want to make the music approachable. And really in the short north, as its face is changing, for whatever good, bad, and indifferent, I think those spaces are becoming less and less. And so that's something that we really want to continue to foster and have.
So how do you come about your cocktail menu? How do you develop your menu? Is it a collaboration or does...
It's absolutely a collaboration. I mean, on one side of the menu, on the classic side, we'll have me and Laurie sitting down and going, all right, well, what classic cocktails are going to fit our seasonal menus? So right now we change it about every 6 months. Probably start changing it more as I get antsy to make more numerous different types of cocktails. But we'll throw all that together on the classic side and just agree what fits for the season and what can we make, what will be fun if there's something new that we want to make. And then on the house side is actually a collaboration of people from all over the city. Annie Williams has a couple cocktails on our menu that she had created for us back
Gary
when we
White from
first started.
Denmark.
Yeah, Gary White from Denmark, Sean from Denmark as well, helped out with cocktails.
Former bartenders of ours
Oh
still
yeah,
have.
JT,
Yeah.
who's a great bartender. He's worked
at
at
Sidebar
numerous.
now, yeah.
He's at Sidebar
Yeah.
now. He's worked at numerous places
Oh,
throughout
yeah,
the
we
city.
know JT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys.
Yep.
Shay, who you've had on
Shay,
here.
Shay, who
Yeah,
you've
we
had
love her.
on. Yeah,
The
and-
Shaviation.
Yeah, the
Exactly. Oh,
Shaviation.
that was such a great. I'm so mad at Gifford for discontinuing Black Rose liqueur, but it's. But yeah, so and on the house side, we'll have bartenders like Shay and JT on the menu, Annie Williams, myself, Laurie, anybody that we know that has a great cocktail and wants to put it on the menu and wants to give it to us.
Yeah.
If they're not bartending somewhere else, we're more than happy to have it. And we love having a collaboration from all over the city.
And a lot of
contribute to
that
the
was
menu.
right. A lot of that was when we first started. We were still learning how to craft cocktails ourselves that were riffs on classics, and we got we went around to some of those people that we saw as our mentors in Columbus. Something I love about the Columbus cocktail scene is that we are not in competition with each other. We kind of are all like,
it's a collective. It's wonderful.
Raising the bar, pun intended, together. And so getting to sit down and talk with, I was just talking with him on the way over, Christina Basham, who's done amazing. I think she's also been on this, right? Christina now with Middle West, but also she has her side Bubbles and Agave is like giving us some tips, and Sean from Denmark, and Gary and Annie and all of these people that we have kind of held up as our own like mentors in the city of like how do we want to make a cocktail menu look, and so it's been
Can
really cool
regular people have a cocktail on your menu?
Maybe we haven't thought about it.
Because we got a cocktail, and it comes with a video and birth control.
And
I'm sorry. Can you expound upon the last part?
So it is called the Knocked Up Cocktail, and it was created for the USBG Makers Mark prom night.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They did you had to do a video and create this cocktail. And so the video is on our Facebook page, but so I did this video. Blair actually created the cocktail. It's a riff on a sidecar.
Okay.
It's just you switch out the cognac and use bourbon instead.
But not just bourbon. You have to use the barrel proof.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so it's
Yeah.
okay.
Hence,
I'm
name.
understanding the name a bit more now. Yeah.
And so the reason we called it Knocked Up was because it was for the senior prom night.
Appropriate.
And I didn't go to my senior prom because I was knocked up. So
great.
and
story
if you drink too many of them, you're getting knocked up. Somebody's getting knocked up. So
side note is that we have the Out of the Closet, which is also the Equitas Health people, are across the street from us.
Oh, that's fun.
I think we might be the only bar in the short north that regularly has condoms sitting on our bookshelf, and you would be amazed at how many people grab those. So maybe we would.
That's good.
We would just clothespin one to the side of the glass.
That would be so fun. I would provide the condoms.
There we go. Keeping people healthy.
So, Laurie, were you a bartender before also, or what's your background?
Not. So a great thing about Mike and I is that we complement each other really well. Mike has a wealth of knowledge in bartending land that I did not have. I actually came in for the New Year's party that they had prior to opening. And Mike was behind the bar and getting buried a little bit. And I had bar backed prior, but only really casually and a couple nights a week when I was just between jobs. So I was like, I'll come back there and do some stuff for you. And that turned into quickly, they're like, can you come back next week? We have another party. And so I was bar backing for a little bit. And Mike started teaching me how to build a cocktail and how
that's awesome.
Everything from dilution and ice and what should be double strained and shaken and what tastes good together and things like that, and just memorizing recipes that were already existent on the menu at that point. But yeah, I picked it up quickly. But where my strength is, and it's kind of why we split our roles, is that I have a background in HR, I have a background in general management. I worked for
the hard shit.
Exactly.
The things I didn't want to do, actually.
I talk about this. I worked for Starbucks for a decade, and they taught me everything I need to know about managing just about anything. God love them and their billions of dollars that they threw at learning processes and how to teach processes, because I can apply it to almost anything I've done. I worked in e-commerce after that, and then I ran a cleaning business, and that's what I was doing up until this venture. But it's great because I have HR conversations with Mike all the time about how to handle some things that are a little more difficult in working with people.
I bet it lends itself really well.
And he teaches me cocktails. And so we together, we have both kind of put our, we definitely put on our learning caps a bit to fill in the gaps of what we didn't already know. But it's been great to have him as a resource. And I think he'd say the same about me on my end of the strength of things. So
when you have someone that is acting up in your bar and you don't want them in your bar, you just put on your HR hat and you just go up to them and explain to them that.
Well, that's a bouncer a little bit more, but yeah, I could probably do that too.
HR is kind of a bouncer.
For sure. It's a bouncer of sorts, certainly.
Thankfully, we don't have that happen in our bar very often at all.
That is an upside of maybe not being a volume bar, is that there's not as much of that. But, cocktails make people do silly things too. So. We've all been there.
Yeah, that's why we love them.
Yeah.
All right, so we are going to take a break, and Mike is going to mix us up a cocktail. What are you going to make for us tonight?
Tonight, I'm making a cocktail off our menu called the Boon Sazeracoon. Yes,
Boon
Boon Sazeracoon. So it's a mezcal take on a classic Sazerac. It got its name because a couple of our partners at the bar like to give everybody nicknames. My nickname ended up being ABC, or Ace Boon Coon. And when I'm sitting struggling to figure out a drink name, that's what came to mind, because it just sort of rolled off the tongue. And I was like, sure, why not? So that's going to be what we're making today.
This is the first time I'm hearing the story about why this was named.
Is it really?
Named. Yeah. I was like, okay.
I'm also that person that every time it came to like enter a video game character name, I'm sat there for like 10 minutes trying to think of one and ended up with something that I was like, meh. So pretty much my MO for coming up with cocktail names.
But the cocktail itself will speak volumes, hopefully.
That's
the goal, yeah.
All right, well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we are going to drink the Ace Boon Coon.
Sazeracoon.
Ace Boon Sazeracoon.
Ace Boon Sazeracoon. All right. And we are back with the Ace Boon Sazeracoon. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
It has a nice ring to it now that I know how. Ace Boon Sazeracoon. All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Everybody.
Cheers.
Okay. I get the lemon immediately, the absinthe immediately,
And the mezcal.
the mezcal.
That smokiness of the mezcal is like what just lingers in the mouth after.
Yeah.
So I have to say, I used to not like mezcal because I don't like smoky things, but I love it in a cocktail. It really brings
It
out.
really comes out and shows its true colors in a cocktail, I think.
So tell us all the ingredients. This is a pretty complicated cocktail, isn't
It's
it?
got a few ingredients. So main spirit being mezcal, obviously. And I use an espadine mezcal. And so it's typically pretty young mezcal. It's a clear mezcal as well. So it hasn't spent any time in a barrel.
Okay.
And so thus hasn't very much become too complex. It's nice because it lets other flavors in it show through, because the other flavors that we also use a Calvados VSOP. Calvados, for people that don't know what it is it's in the brandy family, but instead of being made out of grapes, it's made out of pears or apples.
Okay.
There's like 200 different types of apples that could be used for Calvados. The VSOP means it's spent at least 2 years in a barrel. And I always forget how to pronounce this, but the pédouage.
Sounds good to me.
I can't remember, but it just means it spent an extra 2 years minimum in a barrel and spent at least 4 years in various regions of France. Just like brandy, it could only come from certain regions. One of them being one of my favorite regions ever of France, which is Sarthe. Not been there, but the Circuit de la Sarthe is also the 24 Hours of Le Mans race that takes place every year. So that's why I get so giddy about it. But
is this a car
back
thing?
to the alcohol.
Mike's a gearhead outside of this, so this is, he always gives me car references, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking
Fix
about.
your car.
Or fixes my car. That's fine.
And so those are the two ingredients, as well as the agave simple syrup. We make an in-house agave simple syrup that we reduce down just by pouring next some water into it, thin it out a little bit so it's not super heavy and thick in the cocktail and over sweetening it.
Okay.
And that's where you're really going to differ from a traditional Sazerac. Otherwise, it still uses Peychaud's bitters. It still uses Angostura bitters.
Absinthe rinse is still
there.
there.
And the absinthe rinse is still there. Just like you would a typical Sazerac.
It's really delicious.
But
and like I said, I didn't know I liked mezcal until I had it in a cocktail. Like, it's not something that I'm going to drink on its own, or maybe I will if I find the right mezcal, but
Now you know how to say the name of the cocktail. You might really enjoy ordering it.
you know what? I'm definitely coming. We should go to the burlesque show.
We should go.
and get this
Tomorrow night.
cocktail. It'd be awesome.
I realize that this is going to air long after the show happens.
That's why I'm here tomorrow night.
So that's why I'm like, every third Tuesday, you too can join them for burlesque.
Yeah, absolutely. So you rinse the glass with the absinthe.
With the absinthe,
You built the cocktail, and then you shook it, and then you expressed a lemon over it so that we
Yes.
get the
The aromatics
smell.
of the lemon coming through.
And you have the oil of the lemon. I could see it floating on top there, which gives it a nice lemony flavor.
I wanted to be as close to a Sazerac as I could while still changing up the spirit.
It's really good. How do you like it, Claire?
I like it a lot. It's again, I'm not a huge fan of mezcal, but like you, in a cocktail, in the right circumstance, and especially the ones that aren't quite as smoky as others, I do like them quite a bit. But this cocktail is delicious, and it's a nice riff on a Sazerac.
Thank
You still know it's a Sazerac, but it's obviously not because there's no rye in here.
Because there's no what?
Rye.
Right. Honestly, I don't make my Sazeracs with any
I was
rye
like, are we going to
either.
go down this
Uh-oh.
So there's two schools of thought around a Sazerac. Their rye is what you will more traditionally see it made with now.
Sure.
However, there was a Sazerac is a New Orleans-based cocktail, and there was some kind of plague disease of
the first quarter
yeah,
of the 19th century.
exactly of the grape. Of the grape fields there, that cognac was becoming more and more difficult to get their hands on, and so it switched over to rye in that time. I want to say it was mid 1920s that happened. Am I right there?
Yeah, it would be mid.
He's like googling the check on that.
that.
But yeah, so we talk about it where it was traditionally made with cognac. It is now more regularly seen with rye. I too like mine with rye. However, I don't know, get a good cognac in there. And it's like in the winter, a great cognac, like just does it.
Yeah, I like it both ways too.
Yeah, we've had it both ways, and
Yeah.
it is delicious. I traditionally like the rye better, but
So, Laurie, you have a hobby in a little thing
an
called
expensive hobby.
herbalism.
Sure. So I worked in e-commerce for several years. I was an executive for the company. When I left, I went into business for myself, cleaning houses, and I went from like an 80-hour work week to a 20-hour work week. And I was like, what else will I do? It was around a time I was getting into yoga, and I started studying like the sister science to yoga that's called Ayurveda, but it was Indian homeopathy essentially. And so we learn a lot about herbalism in that. There's a lot about like diet and nutrition, but herbalism is a huge piece of that. And so while we were on the break, I was talking a little bit about Peychaud's, which is one of the bitters in this cocktail, and kind of the history of the marriage between the old school apothecary and the classic cocktail. And it's something that I love today because my very expensive education that I went into actually gets to come into use from time to time. And it's cool to be able to.
Which is what?
So Ayurveda. So I have a clinical theory degree in Ayurveda, and so I go back and don't use it often now, but I do craft some cocktails with herbs. So we currently have a menu that is like just a mini menu that are a bunch of herbal infusions, and so I talk a little bit on those menus about like something that is like an herb for liver support or herb for digestive support, which is what Peychaud's bitters. Those bitters are a digestive support. But kind of marrying the cocktail and the herbalism side again is something that I'm really passionate about. If I got to go down a long and dark rabbit hole, you would find a lot of cocktails on our menu that are like very obscure herbs and what they do for your body, as well as like imbibing on the spirit itself.
So we can be healthy while we're
That's right.
drinking.
Absolutely.
That's right. I mean, most tinctures are made with grain alcohol, and so if you put it on a large scale and you add some citrus and some simple, you've got a cocktail.
Okay, so what's the best herb for my liver?
Ooh, For liver, there's so many great herbs for it. Dandelion and burdock, actually. I was just saying that I was in Toronto last year and picked up a bottle of bitters, and I can't even remember who made it at the time, but it was really intriguing to me. Dandelion and burdock I live in Wyland Park in Columbus, and I have a plethora of dandelion and burdock. Burdock is that big, obnoxious leaf that grows in your garden that like chokes everything else out. And we know what dandelions are pretty well, but those are two herbs that their roots are used. They're a liver tonic. And so I actually have a dandelion burdock soda in one of our cocktails right now that is a great liver support. So, drink a little booze, drink a little dandelion burdock, and even it out.
Yeah.
So you can drink as much as you want and your liver will not fail you?
Absolutely. No one gets to sue me over this claim, right?
So did I understand you to say you have a separate menu for that?
So yeah, it's just a little side menu that we have like printed out. So we'll do from time to time. Mike and I get really excited about side cocktails, and since we're still at the place as a baby bar of doing a full menu at like once every 6 months. We now don't get to call ourselves a baby bar anymore. We're a toddler. We're 2 years old.
Yeah.
We're walking on our own. However, instead of having to wait 6 months to launch a cocktail, it's great to just do little side menus from time to time. So if you do drop in and you are curious of what else might be going on, we can throw a menu at you. We also have like a little chalkboard on the side.
I'm
You
totally
can see
doing
it,
that.
But it's kind of like if you know, you know. If you follow us on Instagram, you'll know more about it too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should do that.
Barrel-aged cocktail menu.
Yeah.
that we're working on.
Mike does our barrel aged, and it's a lot of fun.
I did my first barrel age over the winter. Did a barrel aged Watershed 4-Peel Negroni and a barrel aged Redemption Rye Manhattan. Had a lot of fun doing it. Had no experience doing it. Did a lot of Google research to figure out how to get this started. Asked a couple people that I know that had done it. Might know that PJ over at the bar manager over at Seven Matchsticks had done it before, and I was like, oh, I'm going to do that. So I had a lot of fun with the first round. The Redemption Rye Manhattan was so good and so smooth that I finished in 3 weeks in the barrel. And then another 3 weeks, it was all gone.
It drinks like water.
Yeah, it's so smooth. Another barrel that I got right now, a brand new charred barrel that I got, I'm going to throw a bunch of sherry in it for about 2 weeks. And then pull all the sherry out, have a bourbon barrel aged sherry. And then throw another cocktail into the barrel that had the sherry coating in it, and to add another layer onto the barrel aged cocktail, and just to see what else I can do with it.
It's so fun.
That's where I have my fun for sure.
So tell me a bar story. I know you guys have to have a bar story that you can share with me. I know you do, Mike.
What do you mean? Like what kind of story? We got a lot of stories. Where do you want us to go with this?
Wherever you want to go. Shay told me a story, and I think she was hallucinating. I think she was hitting the mushrooms a little too hard, but she told us about her seeing 2 unicorns in Dutroux.
Oh, she hasn't told us that story.
I haven't even heard this one yet.
So I'll tell a story, and you can tell me if you want. So maybe maybe we're haunted. Who knows? Maybe it's unicorns. Who knows what it is? But so we sit in the former Blazers pub. So those who've lived in Columbus for a long time, this is a 35-year-old lesbian dive bar. So I like to think that I'm a queer woman, so I connect with my lesbian ghosts well. So I like to think that we have some like lesbian ghosts who are like both like cheering us on and also like trying to keep it real for us a little bit. So like, when we have something fancy and it just falls off a shelf, they're like, remember this was a dive bar. You gotta keep it real. So I'm there alone a lot, opening, closing, middle of the day, and some weird stuff just seems to happen from time to time where I'm like, oh, the lights are flickering, and the plants are falling off the walls, and like,
wow.
So I mean, who knows? Who knows what kind of hauntings we might have? But that's mine. We have enough spirits in the place. We might as well.
What's a few more?
Compliment them with some from the afterlife. If you will.
So wait, literally, you'll be like doing your HR stuff, and then a plant will like fly off the wall.
It won't fly off the wall. It's not like poltergeist in there, but I mean, there are moments where like the heat kicks on and like something just falls off where I'm like, did I do that? Was it the heat that just kicked on? What's happening? So, who's to say? Maybe you have to come in and figure it out yourself.
Interesting.
Like, what do you got? I mean, you don't have to have a poltergeist story.
I don't have a poltergeist story. No. Some of the most memorable times at the bar is I've been sort of left alone at times on accident, maybe partially due to my own scheduling issues.
Did the heat come on?
What?
Did the heat come on?
He's always coming on.
He's always, well, and with those heaters back there, or the coolers back there, it's 1,000,000 degrees hotter behind the bar than it is on the other side. But, oh man, I mean, I actually, a girl now that I've been dating for over a year, that I'm absolutely head over heels for at this point, that I've known for a couple of years. I met her because she walked into our bar on opening day. She was visiting from Georgia, and we had an interview up here, and which is why she was in Columbus. And she said she had walked by our bar and went down the street and looked at a couple other places and was like, I kind of like the vibe in that place. So she came back, ends up closing down the bar.
And when she walked through the door, did like the sunshine and the angels sing, and
there was like,
her hair
was
was blowing in the wind.
When she walked in, for some reason, I knew that there was going to be some sort of relation. I didn't know if it was going to be a friendship or an intimate relationship or what at the time, but and she said she was just so drawn to it that she had to come in. She saw some of our Egyptian artwork that we had up, just figures and such that we had in the bar. And she saw that we had books on our bar case or on our bar top instead of TV or whatever the video crack gambling or thing is that you see some Keno. Or
we should get a
Keno. We should totally get a Keno machine.
I would love Keno in a cocktail, guys. Let's bring back Keno.
So she came into the bar that night. She ended up closing down the whole bar, and then we talked. It was about a year until she actually moved up here, and we got to reconnect. And now we've been dating, like I said, for a year and known each other for 2, and there's no sign of that stopping.
Aw,
so
that's awesome.
I'm quite thankful for
Mike
that bar
outdoes everybody. It's not poltergeist, it's love.
But we've had just a number of people that have come in, and I'm just astonished at the people that come in and go, oh my goodness, we love this place. We're going to be back. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for your service, everything.
We always get that response
when
we bring guests to your place too.
Thank you. Yeah.
They love it. It was completely unexpected. It's a door on High Street that unless you know it's there, you walk right by it.
Walk right by it, yeah.
And
I can't tell you how many times we get that. How long have you been here? Did you just open? And I'm like,
you're not a law firm? The scales on the door.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then when they come in, they have a wonderful experience, and you guys are awesome, and it really shows.
And that's really, I think honestly, that's really like the mission for our bar is to just be a place where you can get a damn good cocktail, good conversation, and generally connect with people. And so I think that's something that, like as we have grown, there's a lot of things that we maybe have envisioned for what this bar could have been, but like we're leaning into the things that we are. And I think that's something that like Mike and I both like continually go back and forth about is like, let's do what we do well. And let's not try to do something necessarily that's not us. And so oftentimes we'll get a lot of things pitched at us as what we could be. And I think we know what we do well. I love that we are a great first date place. Yeah. It's one of my favorite things to sit in on a Tinder date. I'm a Tuesday, Wednesday bartender. Nothing better than sitting there and like being the fly on the wall for the Tinder date.
All the Tinder dates, yeah.
Yeah.
How do you know they're Tinder dates?
Oh, you know them immediately. Like there's a vibe. First of all, there's somebody comes in and they're like looking around. My bar's not that big, and they're like looking for like somebody else who's looking for somebody else.
Oh, I love the awkward hug when they finally meet eyes. They go, I'm so and so, I'm so and so, and there's that awkward hug where they're like don't want to get too close.
The butt out hug,
the butt out hug.
Sure. Like as a bartender, you're just standing there and you like see it over and over and over. You're like, okay, here it is. And sometimes you watch people get stood up and it's very sad. And I'm like, here's a shot on this. Like, I'm really sorry for your loss. Maybe she wasn't that great anyway, though.
Maybe she wasn't.
But like you'll watch it happen where they'll like greet each other, and then there's like at some point you're walking over and getting a cocktail order from them, and they're like, so like what do you do? Where are you? I'm like, clearly this is not a business meeting. Clearly this is not friends getting together because they're like, what's your job? What's your favorite
Sitting off
color?
in the corner of the bar somewhere.
But like, it's cool because you kind of, after a while, you like learn body language, and you're like, this is going very well. Or like, someone gets up to go to the bathroom, and you're like, you can leave if you need to.
This is your chance.
He picked up the tab. I won't tell. But it's fun. It's a fun, like, I think what's great about the vibe is that it's not a loud bar, generally speaking, and there's not a lot of like outside things like distracting you. And so if you come in on a Tuesday, Wednesday night, right? I'm yelling at the Tinder dates. No, I'm not yelling at but you do get like a little bit more of an intimate vibe. And so, sometimes we build the romance with like a little live jazz on Thursdays and Fridays too. So that doesn't
also
hurt,
a good reason for having the condoms in the bar.
Yeah. There you go.
Back to the knocked up. It's like full circle here.
There we are.
Yeah.
There we are.
Maybe we should put the knocked up on the.
I think you should.
I mean, we might also call it like weird first Tinder date or something. I don't know.
Maybe there should be a separate menu for that.
Like, we just slide over the Tinder date menu, and it's like all of the like, I got catfished. I don't know. I can't even make all this up as
Loosen
I go.
up.
But yeah, that's right.
That would be really fun. No, I do love your bar because it's not loud and crazy, and you can hold a conversation. It's funny. I'm addicted to podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
I love Conan O'Brien's podcast, and he actually had Michelle Obama on, and she was talking about how she misses the life experience of being able to listen in on people's conversations because as the former first lady and the first lady before that, she's surrounded by a Secret Service. So she never has an opportunity to do that anymore.
I would just assume that everyone knows you're Michelle Obama. They're not going to have a casual conversation around you. They're not going to like continue on with their Tinder date.
But before she was the first lady, and she was just an attorney, she could listen in at the grocery store she's like a big Chipotle fan, which I learned on the podcast. And, she could listen in on the conversations that the people in front of her at Chipotle. And it's something you don't really think about, it really, you learn a lot from, and it's very entertaining.
I have definitely heard so many stories unintentionally. Pretty much.
I'm intentional. If I'm bartending, I'm like super creeping on you.
Yeah. Lori likes to creep in. I
Mike's
sit
like,
on the
whatever.
sidelines and I interject if
What next? What happened?
if the conversation's interesting enough, I'll jump in. But
Don't sit in front of my well if you don't want to get overheard.
I had a couple girls the other night that were just like, one was mad at her brother, one was mad at her husband. The guy.
You're going to out them. They're going to listen to this and be like, damn it, he was listening. Columbus is too small for this to not happen.
And so they're just sitting there and just going back and forth, and I'm just hearing about how much of a piece of shit this guy is. And then I just had to lean over and interject for a second, like, so is he really a piece of shit, or is it just a one-off situation? And then I get the whole spiel about what he did and why his wife's pissed and his
you asked.
pissed. Yeah, I did. But by the end of by the time they left, though, they were both so happy because
it's therapy.
Because way back in the day, your bartender, like in the coal mining towns, like my family is from Southern Ohio and the coal mining towns, and your bartender was not only just your bartender, he was also your therapist.
Your marriage and family
he was also where you picked up your mail. He was also, where you went to get away from the wife and kids. He was so he was everything. And so I've really tried to embody that in my bartending and be the place that you can go and you can talk to the bartender for objective advice. Sort of like Cheers.
So it's the same for us, and that's why we do what we do to highlight what you guys do. We appreciate it so much, not because we like to drink, which we obviously do, but because we have spent a lot of time, I was single for most of my life. And so I would sit at a bar and many of my best friends are bartenders that I met, sitting at the bar and talking about life. And so it is so much more than just mixing cocktails.
Yeah.
It's
definitely is.
Another reason we keep the TV off is because if you come in by yourself, we want to talk to you. We're more than happy to hold a conversation. And
Right.
if you want to talk about your life problems, go ahead. If you want to talk about what kind of booze we use and what cocktail and why, we're also here for that. So.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And that's why we do an amateur cocktail competition called I'm Not Really a Bartender.
Yeah.
And we pair amateurs with professional bartenders. And the first round of this is they have to fill a drink order while talking to people. So, because that's such a huge part of it. It's a challenge and
it's
It's harder than people know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is.
I'm going to put a side note of this. This is why I think that women bartenders are becoming more and more prevalent, because I think that women, generally speaking, are really great at multitasking. It's just something
Yes,
we have to do.
I agree.
And so we can mix the cocktail. Mike, you are the exception to the rule. We can mix the cocktail and talk and bring somebody in and do something else. And in my experience in service industry, it just seems like such a great fit. And so
I agree.
there are those exceptional men out there that are doing it, but I feel like it comes really natural to women. So
Oh, for sure.
I'm sure you're
I mean, women rule.
right. We've got some good ones in our bar.
So,
Yeah, no, that's so fun. Well, Laurie Granger and Mike Schaaf, thank you so much for being our guest tonight. It's been so much fun. And
This has been fun. Thank you.
so we should, if people want to look for your events
Yeah.
that you have just about
Yeah.
every night.
So our Instagram is Hall of Two Truths. And Facebook, you can just find us at Two Truths. We also have a website that is just basic information, but it'll probably direct you to both of those, which would be twotruths.com. Well, the number 2. So I was like, there's something special about it. Let me think about that. But that would be the best place. We have all of our events up on Facebook. We'll usually try to invite as many people as we know. So friend us and we'll make that happen for sure.
Yeah, we post it all over Instagram as well.
That's right. But we also have a chalkboard in the bar. So come in, take a
And
photo
what
of the
days
chalkboard.
are you open?
So we're open Tuesday through Saturday, 6 to 12, Tuesday and Wednesday, 6 to 1 on Thursday. And then Friday and Saturday are 5 p.m. to 2 a.m.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, listeners, get into Two Truths and order an Ace Boon Sazeracoon. It's delicious. Or ask for the special herbal menu. What do you call it?
To your health.
To your health menu.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. All right. Thanks, guys, so much.
you.
Thank you.
And listeners, please subscribe to our podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Rate us and review us. Thanks to our producer, Greg Hensberry, for your excellent work. And thanks to our original music by the biographer. Check out our website at clumscraftcocktailtour.com for all of our events. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at c3tour.com or something like
Seabus
that.
Craft Cocktail Tour.
Okay. Whatever that. Yeah. That.
That one.
What
Yeah,
he said.
Seabus Craft Cocktail Tour. And always remember, drink responsibly, tip appropriately, and always be cocktail curious.
Cheers.
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 Thank you, guys.